Hi there, everybody. We're back. I mean, we haven't actually gone anywhere, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you all know what I mean. We have, though, really enjoyed watching our friends on Insta, Faceplace, and YouTube all making videos of their homebound fun times. There's so much singing and dancing, so many bedroom concerts and living room circus tricks. I'm looking at you, Astrid. And as strange as it's all been, the sense of community that we're getting through all these videos has really given us the warm fuzzies. So thank you for sharing your stir crazy with us. It makes us feel like we're really not alone, despite being totally alone. Our four-legged friend Frank has also really been missing his daily stream of visitors. We keep finding him laying by the front door, all sad-eyed, waiting for somebody, anybody to come see him. He's got to be wondering what his humans did wrong to make everyone stay away. Wah, wah, poor Frank. Well, enough of all that. We're here now, and we're super excited that you are too. So let's get into something fun. Today, we're going to be making some of this super sweet marbled paper. Oh, wow. Cool, right? Oh, mustard yellow, one of my favorites. And this guy, maybe what it looks like on Jupiter, and not fun. So this project has a more elaborate list of supplies that you'll need to gather, but I think if you have any kind of maker closet or even a messy garage, you'll find something to work with. Okay, kids, what you'll need. Firstly, some oil paint. The more colors, the better, but this can also look lovely with as few as 2. You'll also need something to thin your paints. I'm using odorless Turpenoid from the Art Center, but you can use mineral spirits or regular turpentine. There are other solvents that will thin your paint, but I really don't want to advise you to bust out the jet fuel or the MEK. That might be dangerous. I'd also like to mention from a safety standpoint that you should do this in a ventilated area. They say that Turpenoid is odorless, but I sure can smell it. You'll need a tray to set up your dipping bath. I really love using these aluminum turkey baking trays from the grocery store, but any kind of rectangular tray will work. Keep in mind the size of your tray does dictate the size of the paper you can marble. And you definitely don't want to use anything you're going to continue to cook with for this project. You're going to need some paper to marble, duh. Any kind of paper will work, shiny, matte, thin, or thick. I've even got some sticker paper today, just cuz. All right, next you'll need some things you may find in your recycling, especially if you've been supporting our local restaurants with curbside pickup to go orders. Dig through there and find yourself some of those small plastic dressing cups, the thing the Parmesan cheese came in, any kind of small ramekin type cup. You'll also need some tools to move the paint around in your tray. You can use straws, chopsticks, popsicle sticks, toothpicks. Again, check that trash. If you want to get really fancy, you can make yourself some rakes like these using some foam core and toothpicks. I also love to use eyedroppers if you happen to have some of them. And lastly, you'll need an area to let these beauties dry. You should definitely clear some counter or floor space to lay out your marbled paper before you have a piece of wet paper in your hand with nowhere to put it down. I've been there a couple of times, and let me tell you, it's a sad, sad song. I like to cover the drying area with a tarp because the drippies on the edge of the paper can make quite a mess. Okay, y'all ready to get into this? Here we go. So step 1, we're gonna make our paints. So we're going to plop a blueberry-sized dollop of paint in the bottom of our ramekin, like so. Little blueberry. Now I'm gonna add a tablespoon of that Turpenoid. That fills it about 1/4 of the way. I don't know if you can see that in there. And then we're gonna stir until it's all mixed together. This takes a little while. I'm just gonna stir that up. Stir it up, stir it up. You'll want a thin, inky consistency. Not quite done. But here are all of my prepped colors. Step 2, we're gonna lay out our supplies. This project can move really fast, so I like to have everything right on hand as I need it. We're gonna check that our paper fits in our tray and trim it if needed, and then you wanna place that within easy reach. And then we're gonna lay out our tools and our colors, which I have over here to my left. Step 3, now for the fun. Let's add some ink to the surface of the water. For this first layer, we're gonna let one color completely fill the surface. And I'm actually gonna use my eyedropper for this one. You may not see it, but it helps the next layers to spread nicely. So drops of little color. This type of marbling uses both the repellent nature of the oil-water mix and the surface tension to create your designs. So try to stay close to the surface of the water. Traditional marbling also uses a thickened water, which helps your design stay in place as you work. With this method, the paint will move around much quicker. Try not to bump the table while you're working, as that will make it worse, but you should expect your design to move around and change. It's part of the fun. So now some different ways to drop that ink in. I'm gonna use my little cut up straw. Making some nice little drops. And wherever you'd like, I love making little dots. Just using a little suction with my fingers to pick up that paint. Now let's try something different. Here I have a chopstick. Flick that in there. Get some smaller drops. Once you get a couple of colors in there that you like, you can grab a toothpick and move them around a little bit, swirling or raking to get that signature marbled look. So step 3 is to lay down a piece of paper to pick up the ink on that surface. So once you decide you like your design, we're just gonna lay that in there gently. Try not to disturb the surface too much. Now I'm gonna grab a toothpick or a chopstick or something to grab a corner and lift. Ooh, isn't that fun? Such fun. Speaking of Miranda. All right, so now you can repeat, picking some other colors. I'm gonna use that eyedropper again. I really do like those. And it's faster for us to see. All right, what about some green? It's fun to place polka dots within polka dots, mixing those colors up and just playing around with that surface tension. Oh, so cool. Pink and green, very preppy. And let's see, got this fun tool that I actually made out of some floral wire. And it does some kind of fun things. You can move it like this with your fingers or tap it after you dip it in to a color. I'm gonna dip it into yellow and then flick it on my finger, and that's gonna make some teeny tiny little polka dots. Let's see, maybe a little bit in that purple too. Teeny tiny polka dots. Lovely. And again, if you'd like to stir it up, you can. slowly go through just this little bit. Once you're satisfied, take a piece of paper and lay it right on top. I'm going to use my toothpick to grab that corner. Ooh, that one is fun. What do you think, y'all? So, you can keep adding paper, you're adding ink to the tray and picking it up with pieces of paper. It's also fun if you have a lot of ink in there to do one and then immediately pick it up again and see what's still floating on that surface. You'll get a little bit of a softer design. Oh, how fun. See that? All right. So we can do this over and over and over. More ink, stir it up, lay your paper down, more ink, repeat, stir, paper, paper. All right, so once you're done, you're gonna let your paper dry. Mine took about 2 hours. You know, I sure do love this process. It's always been a favorite of mine, and there are so many ways to incorporate the finished product into other crafts. I'd really like to use it in another one of our workshops, the fun and fanciful art of bookmaking. These marbled pages look so pretty when they're pasted onto the inside of the binding boards of front and back book covers. I don't do a lot of 2D work in my own studio practice, but I sure do use my notebook a lot for jotting ideas and to-do lists. Having these beautiful pages glued in there gives me a little bit of what I call glee every time I see them. Sorry, Michael and I have been streaming Miranda. I couldn't help myself. Right, well, thank you for watching another edition of Social Club in Exile. We're live streaming a follow-along creative workshop here on Facebook every other day, so be sure to follow us so you can tune into the next one. All right then, this is Alice signing off from our Summer Avenue Clubhouse. See you soon. I think I might make a bunch more of these.